Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little tough, but it's definitely something that I've been wanting to talk about. How to handle not getting support from your friends or family when you're starting your business. If you're new to my channel, I started my online business 5 years ago during COVID, and I actually just quit my job. Like, I didn't build up to it. I quit, I put in my 30-day notice, and I was gone, okay? And I started my online business. I didn't already have a following. I didn't already know what I was doing. I was completely lost, but I knew for a fact I did not want to keep working my 9 to 5. And the job that I had was considered a quote unquote good job. I was making 60K a month, or 60K. I wish, right? 60K a year. I was making 60K a year. And when I started that job, I was 23, but by the time I quit, I was going on 30, so I was 29 years old. And so many people thought it was a great job. I was making more than most people. This is before COVID, so this is before inflation and rent prices, food prices, all the things. But I was broke as hell and I was miserable. Like, I absolutely hated my job. I hated the people, they hated me. I was just miserable, you guys. And so I had finally built up enough courage to quit. And I thought that quitting my job and the people who were closest to me, knowing how miserable I was there, I thought that they would be supportive of my decision. They knew I was drinking every day. They knew I was crying all the time. I had gained so much weight being there. I just thought that people would be so proud of me, like my friends and stuff. No, no. A lot of my family said I was stupid for quitting. They didn't understand why I would give up 401k plans. Why would I give up my health insurance? Why would I give up this? Why would I give up that? Why would I give up stability? The job that I worked at, people retired there. And for the most part, I was the youngest one there for like 4 years that I was there. I was there for a total of 6. And then like the last 2 years, I was like the second to youngest person. But people retired there. Like, people stayed at that job their whole life. Okay, so the whole department would see people transition. Most people came in fresh out of college, and then they would get married and have kids and buy a house, and like their whole life took place at that job. And so it was stable. And I just was miserable. And so I was shocked that people were not very supportive of me quitting my job and working for myself. I think if I had quit my job and then found another job, I might have got support. But quitting my job and going off on a whim and trying to start this whole online business, no support. I also found out people were talking about me behind my back, calling me stupid, calling me naive, green, just very negative stuff. And when I started posting my content, I thought my friends would be supportive and share my posts and, oh, support my friend, go follow her. I didn't get any of that, you guys. I did not get any of that. And what really started to hurt my feelings the most was I would see my friends like posts of Nicki Minaj, and I'm not sitting here comparing myself, but what I am saying, it's funny how people will like and share posts of people they don't even know, people who don't even know they exist, but they will not share your posts or like they wouldn't even like my posts, and they know me, they spend time with me, I have done stuff for them, right? So that was very hurtful, and I struggled with that, not getting support, or at least the support I thought I would get, especially as my business started growing. I would say my business grew very quickly. Most people's businesses, they're like 10 years deep before they start really making money. I was making money relatively quick, and who I was at the time was I was always doing for people. Like, if we would go out, I would cover the bill. If we went to go get drinks, I would pay for it. Like, at that time, I'm not that today. I learned quick. But at that time, I was the friend. Like, okay, if we're going out, like, I got the bill. Like, it is what it is. And so I thought that, I would get support, and I didn't. And I realized later on my self-development journey, I learned a lot. But for the sake of this video, how do you deal with people who don't support your business, friends, family? Um, how do you deal with that? Well, the biggest thing I can say is you got to remember that you're not even doing it for them. You're not starting a business to seek validation from other people. At least I hope you're not, right? My assumption is you're starting a business to better your life. You're starting a business to help other people in whatever niche it is that you choose, right? And so you have to remember that at all times. You can never forget your why. And by holding on to your why you're doing it, it's for your peace, you're tired of working your 9 to 5, you want freedom, you want to make more money, whatever it is for you, I need you to never forget why. Because it's so easy to get distracted by how people are treating you, and then you lose sight of why you even started in the first place. When you fully grasp the understanding that you didn't start a business to get validation from this person, that person, it's easier, not completely, but it's a lot easier to ignore the outside world and how they're treating you. The second thing, and this really hit home for me, and it took me a very long time to understand this, a lot of times we're asking people to do things for us that they don't even do for themselves. Okay? What do I mean by that? A lot of people, believe it or not, want to start a business, whether they say it out loud or keep it to themselves, right? A lot of people are fearful of judgment, right? A lot of people are very insecure. A lot of people struggle with what people will say about them, right? What people think about them. A lot of people are trapped in that. I used to be too. And I didn't realize this until I was healing myself and, really trying to just become a better person. I realized when you're looking for people to support you who don't even support themselves. They gave up on their business however long ago. Maybe they started something. Maybe it won't necessarily an online business, but they started something. Maybe they were trying to get their hair business up and going. Maybe they knew how to do hair, or maybe they wanted to sell clothes. There was something, most of the time, somewhere down the line, they wanted to start a business. They had an idea of something, but they never followed through with it. They might have started and stopped. They might have never even started to begin with. They just had ideas in their head. Maybe they shared those ideas with you or other people, but they didn't have enough courage to actually get it started. And so you're looking for somebody to do something that they're not capable of because they're not even doing it for themselves. People can only meet you where they are in life. People cannot do more for you than what they do for themselves. It's impossible. And you can take this information with the way someone treats you, okay? If someone treats themselves like shit, there's no way in hell that they're able to treat you any better than how they treat themselves. And so you have to understand that on their side, looking at it through their lens, they see you, or in my case, they saw me, fearless, despite not knowing what to do, still getting it done, right? Still showing up for myself, ignoring the naysayers, right? Those characteristics, believe it or not, are very intimidating to a lot of people who gave up on themselves. Because a lot of people don't have those traits. They could, they're capable, but they don't have them. And so they're standing next to somebody who's living in their truth, who's doing what they want, who's tackling life on their terms. That's intimidating. That is very intimidating. Most people don't live like that. And so you're looking for someone to share your posts. They don't even share their own stuff, okay? They don't even have enough confidence to record their own video and post it and wait for the world to quote unquote judge them. They don't even have the confidence to do that. And so you're looking for someone to somehow be able to show up for you in a way they don't even show up for themselves. And sometimes you might say, yeah, but they share other people's stuff. They don't know them. They're not next to them. So that person's light is not shining too bright next to them. So look at Nicki Minaj. They don't know her. They've never had a conversation with her. They've probably never even been in the same space as her. The furthest they've gotten is maybe they went to a concert and they paid for a ticket, right? But even on that end, they were all the way in the back somewhere, way miles back, okay? They had to use binoculars to see her, okay? So her light, it wasn't bright enough to shine on them and intimidate them. You're standing right next to them. You're on the phone with them. You're sitting across the table from them. You're texting them. You are having conversation with them. Your light is too damn bright. It is too damn bright. And what I had to learn is you are a mirror. Not intentionally. You're not doing it on purpose. But every time someone looks at you and every time someone talks to you, they are reminded of what they are not doing in their life. I know. It sucks because you might be like me. You never try to make people feel bad for their decisions. You never throw things in people's face. You don't do anything. You're just simply existing. But because you're so great, yeah, I said it. Yes, I'm hyping you up. I had to hype myself up. Because I'm so damn great and I'm so disciplined and I'm so focused and I'm so ambitious, it's a constant reminder to other people who are insecure with themselves, the people who you're looking to support you but aren't supporting you. It is a constant reminder of what they're not doing in their own life. That intimidates people. That makes people upset. And I'm not sitting here saying that it's you. You're not the problem. You're simply existing. You're simply trying to live out your dreams. You're simply just trying to be the best person you can be and really lock in on your goals. That's great. But you have to understand, not saying it's right. These are insecure people we're dealing with. I need you guys to remember, these are insecure people that we're dealing with, okay? People who are secure, they don't do that. See, I was always the friend. Whenever someone told me an idea that they had, I would hype them up. You got this, you can do it, and then you can do this, you can turn around and do this. Any business adventure one of my friends had, I would share it. I would really hype them up. But I wasn't insecure in those ways, okay? So it's hard for me to see the lens in someone else's life, okay? But these people that you're looking to support you, these are very insecure people. People who are confident, people who are working on their own goals, they don't act like this. These are people who are stagnant. These are people who gave up on themselves. These are people who have no plans. They're just here, right? They just taking it day by day. These are who we're talking about. These are the people we're talking about. And so I need you to understand that you are a mirror to what they're not doing. And instead of looking at you and being inspired and like, wow, like my friend is amazing. I'm so proud of her. Like, wow. Instead of rising to meet you where you are and being inspired and, just following your lead, they're not going to do that. They're going to be passive aggressive. They're going to act like your little business doesn't exist. They're not even going to ask you how you're doing or how's it going. They're just going to play like nothing you got going on is real. That's what they're going to do. And it's sad, but a lot of times you're going to end up having to distance yourself from them. Because what I want you to ask yourself is, why do you want to be in a space with people who don't celebrate you? Family or not? Why do you want to be around those people? Why do you want friends in your life who cannot even congratulate you on a milestone? Whether you reached 100,000 followers or whether you reached your first 1K followers, why do you want to associate with someone who acts like what you have going on, what you're working hard on, acts like it doesn't even exist? Why do you want that for your life? F them, right? We got to focus on us. We got to look at what we're tolerating, what we are accepting. I need you to list out why you would want someone in your life who treats you like that, who makes you feel like you're irrelevant, that nothing you got going on is special. You need to answer that for yourself, because once you come to the conclusion that you don't want people like that in your life, you will distance yourself, and it'll be easy, because who they're showing you is not who you really want to be around. You shouldn't even want to be texting people who act like you didn't just start a business last month and not even asking you how it's going. You shouldn't even want people around you who watch your story post but can't even heart it. But you watch every single post. The post barely even loaded. And there they are watching. You see the little icon right there, front and center. But they act like they didn't see it. Why do you want people like that in your life? You shouldn't. And that's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. You are not meant to hold on to everybody until the day you die. A lot of times, I had to learn this too, people are in your life for a season. The friendship that y'all had, it was good when you needed it, right? It wasn't all bad. The person you were at the time of the friendship was great. Y'all were aligned in some way. Y'all had similarities. Y'all had similar viewpoints on things. Y'all might have shared the same interests, right? But now you're progressing. You're doing something different. Your path is changing. Who you are becoming is changing. They no longer fit into your life. Okay? And it is what it is. It's not mean. This is not harsh. This is not you sitting here saying you're better than people. This is just real. This is real. I told you the type of people we're talking about. We're not talking about people who are also working on goals too. That's not who we're talking about. Because people who are also working on goals too know how to celebrate you. True or false? Like I said earlier, people can only meet you where they're at. People who are also ambitious, people who are also working towards stuff, they have no problem celebrating you. They have no problem liking your post. They have no problem congratulating you. True or false? Okay, because they are also doing stuff too, so they can meet you where they're at. We are talking about the people who don't want to support you, who that's where they're at because they don't support themselves. That's who we're talking about. You cannot continue to be around people who are stagnant. You cannot continue to dim your light and not want to talk about your business because you don't want to offend anybody. What kind of life is that? And why do you want to be around that? You shouldn't. And I had to learn that too. Why do I even want to waste my time with somebody who can't even say, good job? What? What are we doing? What are we doing? But you know they see it. You know they saw it. They watched your story. They saw it. They saw it. They saw it. But celebrating you would mean to them that and listen, it's hard to understand because I'm not an insecure person. So it's hard to even try to understand the lens that they see life through. But in their mind, celebrating you means that they're admitting that you're better than them. Look, I can't make this up. I'm just telling you what people think, okay? So how do you deal with people who don't support you? Let them go. Let them go. You cannot dim your life. You cannot dim your life just to make other people happy. It's not worth it, and it's really just gonna affect your self-esteem. Trust me, I've been there, I know. It's not healthy. That is not a healthy dynamic. That is not someone you want to be with, and that's just going to hinder your growth. So I hope this video helped. If I said anything that resonated with your spirit, vibrated with your soul, make sure you guys subscribe. Also, you guys make sure y'all click the link down below and join my Glow Up Academy. This is the exact stuff that I teach in there, how to become your highest version so you can reach all of your goals, so you can start the business with confidence, so you can be okay, even when the friends and the family that you thought truly loved you no longer support you, okay? When you are walking into entrepreneurship, you guys, your mindset has to be made of steel. It really does. You have to be so mentally sharp because the world outside will play with your head if you let it. If you are not strong-minded, if you are not focused, if you are not disciplined, I promise you, you will sink. You will. You will sink, okay? So join the Glow Up Academy. The link is down below. Join us. Elevate. Grow. Glow up, okay? I'll see y'all later. Bye.